Ça fatigue, hein.
On va attendre le dernier mix de Simon. Je vous demande d'applaudir très très fort Simon, le DJ. Ça sera quand tu veux, Simon. Bonsoir, Orléans, clac, 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 clac. C'est la dernière. Faites du coup, bravo Simon, on applaudit encore très fort. Je vous souhaite une excellente soirée.
It's time for the quarterfinals here in the first Women's Sabre World Cup of the new season. We're down to 8 fencers. We started with just over 190. I'm Karen Bashir, and I'm delighted to be bringing you live coverage in English courtesy of Leon Paul. Pretty special sport here in France, fencing. Escrime, as it's known here. And they like to celebrate their sport in style. And as always in Orléans, we will have a full opening ceremony. We're going to get to see action from some of the young fencers from this famous town of fencing. Particularly famous for its sabreurs. We also are going to get treated with a local fencer competing in the quarterfinals. So we're going to leave you with pictures of this opening ceremony. The fencing will start in about 20 to 25 minutes time. And we've got 3 fencers from France in the lineup in the quarterfinals. It's over to the president of Orléans Fencing Club here in France.
Cette magnifique épreuve de Coupe du monde. Alors c'est la 21e édition, mais on aura l'occasion d'en parler beaucoup plus longtemps. Moi je voulais profiter de ce moment pour remercier un certain nombre de personnes. Alors, bravo Catherine, c'est normal. Non mais surtout nos partenaires, leurs partenaires institutionnels. Alors, il y a les services de l'État qui nous accompagnent. Il y a le conseil régional, il y a effectivement aussi le conseil départemental du Loiret, il y a la mairie d'Orléans. Alors la mairie d'Orléans avec aussi un petit clin d'œil et un remerciement tout particulier, et notamment pour toutes les équipes techniques, le service des sports qui nous accompagne sur cette manifestation, et ça c'est depuis jeudi. Ils nous ont aidés à faire cette belle installation. Vous savez ce que c'est, on leur demande toujours tout un tas de choses, bien évidemment, de la décoration, au dernier moment il y a des choses qui changent. Alors c'est un petit peu étonnant aussi parce qu'on n'a pas l'habitude d'être obligé de tourner pour voir tout le monde, mais c'est aussi intéressant. Voilà, donc merci à tous ces j'allais dire bénévoles, parce que bien sûr ce sont des professionnels, mais qui, par rapport à tout cela, nous accompagnent et donnent beaucoup de leur temps. Donc vous avez vu, ils ont fait une salle magnifique, donc un bel écran pour nos esquiveuses. Je pense que là, on va passer une très belle soirée. Je vous passe le micro, Catherine.
Alors, cette Coupe du Monde, c'est la 21e. Et c'est la 21e Coupe du Monde, première épreuve du circuit international sabre pour cette année. Et je voudrais aussi remercier tous les médias et tous les professionnels qui nous accompagnent pour relayer cette Coupe du Monde. Cette Coupe du Monde, elle est suivie au niveau national, au niveau international. Merci à FR3. Alors on ne sait pas trop dans quel sens se tourner, comme l'a dit Jean-Louis. Merci à tous. C'est une compétition qui est retransmise en direct, en live streaming, qui est relayée sur
de président de la parité au cercle d'ESCRIME orléanais. Et en plus, ils savent être brefs. Public, vous vous souvenez, un soir de 12 juillet 98, un soir de 15 juillet 2018. C'est dans la mémoire de tous les Français, de tous les Orléanais. Vidéo.
So the packed out crowd here are being entertained with a video only being shown, unfortunately, in the venue of French sporting triumphs through the years, rugby, football, and of course fencing. But our stadium announcer is about to get the proceedings underway after the speeches from the president of the local club.
Ils sont fiers de la porter, là. C'est à moi. Les jeunes des cercles d'ESCRIME orléanais qui nous apportent la Coupe du monde, Orléans.
The local kids bringing up the World Cup, which of course France won in the summer, 4-2, beating Croatia in the final.
15 juillet. 12 et 15, ça fait 27. Le 27 juillet 2018,
That is of course the
l'équipe
World
de France de
Cup
sabre
of football.
nous ramène sa 3e étoile mondiale. Regardez. C'est la dernière touche de Cécilia Werner.
Well, they're not only world champions of football, they're also the reigning world champions of women's team sabre, having taken the title in Wuxi in July in a quite brilliant performance. Cecilia Berder, who's a local fencer from Orléans, was quite spectacular throughout the tournament, coming from behind on a number of occasions, including in the gold medal match against Russia. And the crowd here are being shown images from that Wuxi World Championships.
Forcément, il y a une musique qui va avec. Je vous demande d'applaudir l'équipe de France, championne du monde.
And here they are, the world champions. Charlotte Lembach, Caroline Caroline, Manon Brunet, and Cecilia Berder. A lap of honor around the stadium here, and people are on their feet. Cecilia Berder there taking the trophy. And it was a quite spectacular performance by them at the World Championships in Wuxi. And a deserving warm round of applause. And like I say, some people are standing on their feet here. And an emotional PA as well here, showing off the cup to the crowd.
Alors, bon, elles vont vous dire quelques mots. Charlotte, on a fait un parallèle avec la Coupe du monde de foot. Il y a une coupe, bien sûr, vous vous doutez bien que ce n'est pas la vraie, que c'est qu'une réplique, mais elle a une histoire. Donc je vais vous laisser Charlotte Lembar vous la raconter.
Alors bonsoir à tous déjà. On est très heureux en tout cas de présenter ces deux coupes, et notamment la première qui est arrivée. Cette coupe, en fait, elle nous a suivi dès le début en stage à Shanghai. On a suivi cette finale de Coupe du Monde en Chine, qui était assez tard pour nous, et on l'a vécu et ça nous a donné beaucoup d'émotions. Et comme on disait avec les filles, on avait un peu peur de la toucher, de peur que ça nous porte un peu malheur. Mais malgré tout, elle nous a suivi sur toute la compétition, et pendant les matchs, elle était à côté de nous. Et puis à la fin, elle est arrivée sur la piste, et on l'a soulevée ensemble toutes les quatre. Donc voilà, c'était vraiment un pur bonheur de vivre cette journée en tout cas avec tous les filles, tout le staff et tout le monde.
Charlotte. Alors, je sais que collectivement, elles ont dit enfin, parce qu'effectivement, c'est une équipe qui est extrêmement brillante, très régulière et qui n'avait pas atteint le Graal. Alors, enfin, ça veut dire quoi en fait, Manon?
Enfin, ça veut dire quoi? Ça faisait quelques années qu'on était proche du but, qu'on devait chercher des médailles à quasiment chaque championnat, c'était aux Europes, c'était pas aux Europes, c'était au monde, quoi, inversement. Et la médaille d'or, on l'a regardé loin, on a fait une médaille d'or en Coupe du Monde. Et on se disait, on va y arriver, un jour on va y arriver, et là, voilà.
Et puis, il y a une toute jeune dans cette équipe, enfin, elles sont jeunes, hein, mais bon, il y a la Benjamin qui a 20 ans, qui est double championne du monde junior individuelle. Ça, c'est rarissime. Et toi, Caroline, un premier titre par équipe chez les grands, ça fait quoi?
Charlotte Lemback there leading out the line for the French team, but it was Manon Brunet and Caroline who spoke last, and of course they're going to be competing here tonight. But it's Cecilia Berder, team captain I think was fair to say, who's talking now.
Plaisir ce soir, sans vous cacher, vous allez avoir du beau spectacle et des vraies grandes tireuses qui sont qualifiées ce soir. Par rapport à ce qui était champion du monde, c'était vraiment juste l'apothéose, c'était quelque chose d'incroyable. J'ai déjà à cœur de raconter des nouvelles histoires, mais je vous assure que quand elle me saute dessus pour la dernière touche, vous avez vraiment un collectif, vous le sentez dans votre chair, des gens qui vous serrent fort dans les bras, et je vous souhaite à tout le monde de vivre ça. Ces moments, c'est féerique, c'est du sport, n'importe quel niveau, vous avez simplement des gens qui vous sautent à votre cou. De bonheur, voilà, rien que de voir les vidéos tout à l'heure, j'avais encore les frissons et les larmes aux yeux, mais c'est féerique. Voilà, maintenant place au spectacle, je vous souhaite le meilleur, parce que vraiment, on va vraiment être derrière vous, derrière tous ceux qui sont qualifiés. Et puis, amusez-vous bien, profitez de l'escrime.
Voilà, avant que vous le quittiez, que vous saluiez le public, moi je ne voudrais pas oublier tous les staffs, tous vos maîtres d'armes formateurs, avant toute chose. Et puis, bien entendu, tout le staff de la Fédération française, entraîneurs, kinés, tout ça, je ne veux pas en oublier, mais on sait que c'est une longue aventure. Donc le staff, tous les acteurs de votre titre, de manière générale, je n'oublie personne. On va vous demander un dernier salut et on les applaudit bien fort.
Well, fitting tribute there to the best team in the world in women's sabre. France celebrated here in Orléans at the first World Cup of the new season.
On a essayé de ne pas être trop long et maintenant je crois qu'on va laisser la place à la jeunesse, à la dynamique du cercle d'escrime orléanais. Mesdames et messieurs, les jeunes du cercle d'escrime orléanais.
Well, now it's time to see why this club are so good and so well known, not only in France but around the world. It's because of the development they do at youth level. And we're about to see a spectacular display from some of their young fencers. Enjoy.
Jeunes gens rassemblés, salués. En garde.
En escrime, tout commence par le sabre.
Allez.
Sur la piste rouge, vous avez des jeunes qui pratiquent l'éduc escrime. C'est un matériel à l'initiative de la Fédération française d'escrime, tout en plastique, ludique, un masque à visière. Et là, on doit apprendre à piquer et à taper, soit sur la tête, soit sur le buste, sur des vestes de couleur avec différentes écussons de couleurs, rouge, jaune, vert, bleu. Voilà, ça c'est sur la piste rouge.
Halte. En position, première rotation.
Vous allez les voir tous devant vous. C'est parti. Hop, ça tourne.
En garde. Êtes-vous prêts? Allez.
Alors sur la piste verte, vous avez des sabreurs. C'est l'arme que vous allez voir pratiquer ce soir. C'est l'arme des cavaliers. C'est une arme de taille et d'estoc. On touche avec toute la lame ou avec la pointe. Et comme c'est l'arme des cavaliers, on touche tout ce qui est au-dessus de la ceinture. Le tronc, les bras, la tête.
Halte. En position, deuxième rotation. Allez. En garde. Prêt? Allez.
Alors sur la piste bleue, vous avez les armes de pointe. L'épée, c'est l'arme de duel par excellence. On touche sur toutes les parties du corps, de la tête aux pieds, et uniquement avec la pointe. C'est le premier qui touche qui marque le point. À gauche, vous avez des fleurettistes. C'est l'arme pour apprendre l'escrime. C'est une arme de pointe, il y a une convention et on doit toucher uniquement le buste sans les bras.
Halte. En garde. On tourne. Êtes-vous prêts? Allez. Rassemblés. Saluez. En position et sortie. Sous vos applaudissements.
On les applaudit très très fort.
Well, a brilliant performance there from the youngsters from the local club here in Orléans. And let me tell you, they came out for their rehearsal earlier on, and they were having a great time. But a choreographed display there from kids as young as 6 years old. Brilliant stuff, all three weapons. Saber's their special weapon here, but they embrace fencing like no other really.
On a toujours nos 3 minutes de retard du départ, mais vous voyez qu'on tient quand même les horaires relativement bien. On va rentrer maintenant dans le vif du sujet et vous présenter les 8 finalistes de cette 21e édition de la Coupe du Monde de sabre d'âme d'Orléans. Elles étaient 191 au départ, 33 nations de présentes. Je crois que c'est vraiment des chiffres qui parlent d'eux-mêmes. Et il n'en reste plus que 8 ce soir parmi nous. Et il me revient l'honneur de vous les présenter. La première, elle a été championne du monde cadette. Elle a été championne du monde junior. Elle brille maintenant chez les seniors. Elle a remporté notamment une médaille de bronze au championnat du monde. Elle vient d'un grand pays du sabre, la Hongrie. Je vous demande d'applaudir très très fort Anna Marton, Hongrie.
Well, we're not far from getting underway here now as they start to present the athletes out for the quarterfinals here. First up onto the piste is Anna Marton of Hungary. She's the world number 3 and 23 years old. She's got a World Cup gold medal in Athens in 2017, World Cup silver and 2 World Cup bronze, 5 Grand Prix silver medals.
Elle a été championne d'Europe.
But the World Cup bronze medal in 2015, along with the European silver medal in 2016, have to be the highlights of her career to date.
Elle est française, Manon.
Wait for it now, the crowd are going to go wild. It's local girl, 22-year-old, world number 11, Manon Brunet. She won this competition in 2016 and has 2 other World Cup gold medals, plus a World Cup silver and 4 World Cup bronze medals. And let me tell you, this first fight is going to get the crowd going.
De nombreuses fois médaillée avec l'équipe d'Ukraine. Je vous demande d'applaudir très très fort Alina Komachuk, Ukraine.
Now the lineup for our second quarterfinal. 25-year-old Alina Komachuk from Ukraine. She's the world number 23. She's taken out some of the French fencers on her way here, but the victory over Sofia Pozniakova, the reigning world champion in the round of 16, has got to be the highlight. She's got a World Cup silver medal, but all the way back in 2013 in Chicago. So Komachuk goes up against the 18-year-old American Chloe Fox Gittimer. She's the world number 36 and the Pan American bronze medalist in June early this year. She's had tough fights all along the way today, but she is well up for this, and she was giddy with delight after winning her round of 16 match against the Chinese fencer Xiao.
Elle a brillé avec l'équipe d'Espagne, elle est plusieurs fois championne de son pays. Je vous demande d'applaudir Araceli Navarro, Espagne.
Our third match sees the 29-year-old Spaniard Araceli Navarro, the world number 44, coming out on to the podium piste. 3 satellite gold medals and 1 bronze, but never a major medal here. 1 win away from that here in Orléans. And she goes up against the Greek athlete, the 27-year-old world number 37, Despina Georgiadou. Also hasn't taken a major title, and slips on her way up onto the podium. A bit excited, but I think she's going to be all right. A big smile on her face. So our third fight, Navarro of Spain up against Georgiadou of Greece. And one of these two ladies is going to be picking up their first major medal here in Orléans. And now the crowd go wild again. 18-year-old Sarah Nucha, the world number 54, is from France. She picked up a bronze medal at the World Cup in Baltimore last year. And it's been no mean feat to get to this stage, beating Puda of Poland, who was injured, to be fair, in the round of 64, but then taking out Krisha of Italy and Wozniak of America. And France are guaranteed a medal here because Sarah Nucha goes up against teammate and the 20-year-old member of the team that won that women's sabre world team gold medal in Wuxi earlier this year, the world number 38, Caroline Kiroli. She's got a Grand Prix bronze medal back in Moscow in 2017. And she took out one of the favourites for the tournament, Sofia Velikaya, in the last round, along with Vecchi of Italy and Vecchi's teammate, Passaro. So there is our lineup, the 8 fencers left here to contest for the medals here at the opening World Cup of the season for the women's sabreurs. Marton versus Brunei, Komashchuk versus Fox-Gittimer, Navarro against Georgiadou, and Nucha against Caroline Kiroli. Now it's time to welcome the referees. It's the business end of the tournament, and this is the business end of the refereeing fraternity here in Orléans. Handshakes and high fives all round. Each fight will have one main referee, a video referee, and 2 assesseurs, assistant referees, who stand on the side of the piste to help out with looking for infringements. So Amine Akari being announced out to the crowd here. There's a number of French referees here as well. Emanuele Bucca will take control of the second fight. Condi Jani there will be assessing here tonight. She's been working very hard here in Orléans. Nicolas Cosa, possibly one of the 2 top referees here. He takes charge of the 4th quarter-final. Alexander Schiffers there from Germany will be the man in charge of the 1st quarter-final. Introductions done. It's time to get on with the quarterfinals here at the first Women's Sabre World Cup of fencing's new season. I'm Karen Bashir, delighted to bring you the commentary here in English, courtesy of Leon Paul. And joining me in the commentary box, well, he's become a bit of a piece of furniture really in the box here. It's the British national coach, John Southfield. John, what a lineup we've got tonight, and a bit of a mixed bag.
We've got some, I guess, old faces, not old in age, but old in terms of experience, and we've seen them here before at this level. But a few new faces in the top 8 as well. It's going to be really interesting to see how they respond to the pressure and the adrenaline of the big crowd and the spotlight in their first last states at senior level. I'm really looking forward to this, and actually this first match as well. I think it's going to be a fantastic spectacle all round, and a little bit of out with the old and in with the new in some aspects of the competition today.
Yeah, and this one really has the makings of what potentially could be a final here in a World Cup, and these two have been on the scene for quite some time, even though they're just 23, Martin on the right, and 22, Brunet on the left.
Je vous rappelle que les matchs se disputent en 15 touches, qu'il y a une pause à mi-parcours pratiquement à la 8e touche.
So Brunet and Martin, well, they're well known to fencing fans around the globe, and the two of them have met, but believe it or not, I'm going to give you a statistic that perhaps you don't know.
Hit me.
6 times these two have met. Martin's won all 6.
That is interesting, very interesting. It will be interesting to see what game plan Brunet comes into this with. I'm sure she'll be aware of that record herself. I think the key with fencing Martin is you cannot rush at her in the middle of the piece. You can't be too aggressive because she's got such fantastic tempo in the middle, really good defense. You have to try and draw her out, make her fall short. Her attack isn't as strong as her defense. I think if Brunet's going in with a strategy for the fight, that will be a basic strategy. At the beginning of the match, probably just feeling out her rhythm.
So here we go, the first quarter-final here at the Orléans World Cup. It's women's sabre, and it's Anna Martin on the right from Hungary and Manon Brunet on the left from France and from Orléans. Alexander Schiffers is our referee for the match. Evgeny Dychenko is Daikonin is our video referee. We're underway. Martin goes straight into the middle. Brunet goes chasing after her.
Exactly there at the beginning, as I said, Brunet went in, out, made Martin fall short, but she didn't quite control the distance on her attack. So I think her strategy is going to be not to be too aggressive in the middle. And again, we saw exactly that. There you see that moment where Martin just fell short with the attack. That is one of the chinks in her armour. Brunet has to be very patient. Great counter-attack from Martin.
So Martin getting off to a good start. A Hungarian world number 3 on your left.
And Brunet attacked off the first preparation, so she stepped in immediately, took over the attack, and there we saw Martin's really strong defence. I think the first 2 hits Brunet had the middle of the piece right, but she just needed to convert her attack.
Well, she's off the mark now, and there you go. She is from Orléans. It's her first club. Of course, she trains at the High Performance Centre INSEP in Paris now, but they are fencing in France for their home club, so both her and Beder, they are both fencing for Orléans when they compete domestically.
Yeah, big favourites locally, obviously. She just looks a little bit tentative on her attack, Brunet. There you go, you see Martin falling short again. Can Brunet convert this time?
Oh, it's a lovely parry riposte, wasn't it? I mean, the Hungarians are known for their technical ability in sabre, and that's a really nice, neat parry, covering the whole target across the body.
Absolutely, yeah. She saw the attack coming in, waited to the last second, and then took that parry beautifully. And there we saw Brunet coming in a little bit too fast in the middle, and that attack on preparation we talked about just before the fight. Martin hitting her as she stepped in. Again, when Brunet goes in and out, makes her opponent fall short, she has an opportunity, but she really has to convert these attacks.
Blade picked up.
Looks like, yeah, the referee gave that as a beat attack. Martin found the blade on the way in. So for me, Brunei's actually winning the middle of the piece fight. She's getting priority, she's getting the attack enough times, but she's just too tentative and too negative going forward.
Well, our first video appeal, both fencers get 2 appeals in a match up to 15. And Alexander Schiffersy is sent to a review of the video with Evgeny Kokin. Your thoughts?
My thoughts were there just as the refs are looking at the video, Cyril Verbrakel's taking the opportunity to do some sly sideline coaching.
Yeah,
trying
Brunei's
to get
coach there.
Getting his fencer to change the rhythm of her attack. He's given that. He's given that as attack for the right, attack on preparation for the right, sorry. So we go to the break, and Brunei struggling.
Yeah, 8-1 to the Hungarian. Like I say, these two have met before, and Marton has taken all of the 6 fights they've met in. Now, we're not entirely sure. We've had some technical issues here. Apologies if you lost picture and sound there, but we are back now, and it's 8-1 to Anna Marton, the Hungarian, who's just 23 years old.
I think the interesting thing about that first half is that Brunei had the tactics in the middle of the piece just right, exactly right, and I think that's probably what her coach is saying to her now. Don't change that preparation. Don't change the middle of the piece. What you need to do is be more aggressive and positive when you're going forward, and maybe finish with a compound action, a feint attack or an attack on the blade to just stop your opponent being able to defend so effectively. Marton's defense has been impeccable, but we've seen Brunei make her fall short almost every time. So Brunei doesn't need to change that. She needs to keep making her fall short, but she now needs to find something else on her attack and convert those attacks.
Well, to some extent you would look and say Marton here has full command of this, but Brunei came out very confidently and she's got nothing to lose.
There you go, she starts with the same preparation. Now she's being more active, changing the distance. She found an answer. Parry riposte.
Oh, another great parry riposte from the Hungarian. Again, that lateness of the parry is making it so effective.
Incredible composure and then incredible reaction and technique in the last second.
That's a nice attack though from the French fencer, and Marton gave her a bit of a hard whack there and goes up to apologise. The amazing thing about these fencers is they are in a fight. They are absolutely geared up to be aggressive here, but they're also respectful of each other. No choice for the referee but to call that one together. The referee has to look for who's attacking, who establishes the turn to attack.
Well, he gave attack on preparation for Marton, and I think the video, to be honest, is more to kind of change the rhythm of the fight and slow things down, because I can't see him changing that on video.
Well, he's returning to the piece.
He hasn't changed. And it's starting to look like a mountain to climb now.
Oh, slightest hesitation there from Brunei, just lifted her arm.
Just looking for a parry, I think, there, hoping that Marton was going to commit earlier than she did, and a sense of desperation almost now about that action.
Well, referee calling that together as well. They both jumped in, had a quick look, and then both went after each other, so you can't decide who's established the right of way. And this time it's Marton on your left, acknowledging the hit there. A little flick of the finger to say, yep, that's on me, as they say. Long attack. Well, John, you said earlier today her long attack is something she needs to work on.
Yeah, that was a solid attack, and I think it's partly down to the fact that Manon Brunei's just become a little bit passive now. So I'm not saying she's given up, but she's feels like she's just struggling to find her rhythm and doesn't really know what to do.
And it's such an in-the-moment sport, isn't it, fencing? You can have one fight that you feel like you're on fire, and you go into the next match, and all of a sudden you've just got your distance slightly wrong, and nothing happens for you.
This fight's just got away from her. She hasn't done a great deal wrong. That's the strange thing about it. The tactics in the middle of the piece were right at the start and all the way through until the last couple of hits. But she just hasn't been able to convert her long attack. And there's a parry post for Brunei. Maybe in that moment, yeah, maybe in that moment where she's almost given up, she just feels a bit more free to express herself on the piece. Can she land this attack? Yep, she can.
Well, Marton calling for a video review there, and if you are new to the sport, I'm sure most of you aren't, but Brunet did stutter on her attack, but I don't think Martin really established the right of way. John?
No, I mean, Brunet was sort of trying to adopt a very casual approach to going forward there, but she still was going forward. She still was attacking. I don't think the referee's going to change this decision. I understand kind of slight frustration from Martin that her opponent wasn't really pressuring her, and Martin did a very strong step lunge, but it was still a progressing attack.
Well, 13-6 up. I think she's now out of videos, and we're going to get a card here for an early start. Maybe a friendly warning there. From,
the hand went to the pocket, but it came back out again.
Yeah, Alexander Schiffer's deciding not to give a card initially. It's such an advantage to start early.
And it's a devastating hit from Martin. Again, Brunet did everything right in the middle. She made her opponent fall short.
No appeal there. Attack. So she didn't get the blade. She did look for it.
She looked for it, but I think it was a line. Martin put out the line. Brunet looked for the blade. Martin disengaged the hit. And I remember when Martin was a junior, she was famous for killing people with her line. She would do line disengage, then variations from the line parry post, line make her opponent fall short.
And not a bad tactic for a junior with that kind of height. And it's a commanding display. Well, certainly a commanding score line at the end of the day. Anna Martin progresses through. She's guaranteed herself a medal, and she beats Manon Brunet. Much to the disappointment of the home crowd, but she beats her 15-7, and she is into the semi-finals. An interesting one, because like you say, the tactics looked okay from the French fencer.
I think the coach and fencer obviously set the right tactics at the start of the fight, but I think Brunet just wasn't comfortable with them. It's just not a way that she likes to fence. She's very strong in the middle of the piece. She's got good tempo herself. She's got good parry post herself, but she knows that she's outgunned in those areas by Martin, so she had to find another answer. And tactically, the answer was right, but she just couldn't convert her attack strongly enough for it to make enough difference in the fight. And I think other fencers watching that would do well to understand that the approach that she took was exactly right, but her attack needed to be stronger, more compound, more dominant, not just going direct in the last second and allowing the Hungarian fencer to use her superior technique. So I think it's an interesting strategic battle and an interesting lesson for other fencers.
Well, no rest for the wicked here, and no chance for Manon Brunet to soak up the atmosphere here in Orléans, because we've already got the second quarter-final out, and we have got Elena Komashchuk from Ukraine. The world number 23 is a 25-year-old. She's on your left, up against, well, someone who has possibly outperformed herself, coming off the back of winning the Pan-American bronze medal. It's 18-year-old Chloe Fox-Gittimer, the world number 36 from the USA, on your right. Our referee for this fight is Emanuele Buca of Italy, and he's about to get us underway.
Yeah, this is the first last 8 appearance for Fox-Gittimer. She made her last 16 in the end of last season, and 3rd place at the Pan Americans. In terms of World Cup and Grand Prix level, this is her first appearance in a top 8, and she starts with taking the lead. Completely different fight. This is the last one. The last one was a very thoughtful, relatively slow fight. Both fencers looking and watching each other. They've fenced each other a lot. These two haven't fenced each other so much. I'm not sure if they've fenced at all, to be honest.
One match between the two of them. Komashchuk has that one 1-0, but it was only a fight up to 5 in a pool at a previous competition. So yeah. I mean, it's very strange to say these days that the fencers don't know each other because of all the video analysis that's done. So I'm sure these two know each other inside out, and if they didn't before today or before this fight, they certainly do now.
Absolutely.
But they don't know each other on the piste.
Absolutely. And interestingly, they're quite similar style of fencer. They like to contain the middle of the piste and stay in the middle quite a bit, look for a lot of blade actions, a lot of attacks and preparation, just like that one there from the Ukrainian fencer. So they're not dissimilar style of fencers. So it'll be interesting to see what they're looking to do to try and combat each other. Komashchuk just a little bit more active there. She took up the attack a little bit earlier. They both paused, but then the Ukrainian went first. A bit of a deceptive attack there from Fox-Gittimer. She looks as though she's going to fall short, but she has just a little extra couple of inches of reach that you don't think is going to be there. They both paused, they both started at the same time, simultaneous action. Ukrainian takes up the attack. She saw the American fencer just go back a little bit early. I think Chloe Fox-Guittem is just probably the adrenaline of her first top 8. She's just making her decisions a little bit early, showing her intention to her opponent. But there's a good parry post. That was much later action.
And that's the kind of hit that will give you a bit of confidence as well, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Stepping into the middle and looking for that parry post and it paying off.
Absolutely right. The Ukrainian just held up there, and Chloe Fox-Guittem just managed to take over the attack in time. It's a close one, it's quite hard to call.
Yeah, but I mean, I think, look, it's easy to say Komashchuk's got the edge. She's 8-5 up here, but she is just holding her own a little bit better at the moment. I think, as you say, that excitement of being in your first top 8 match is tough for an 18-year-old.
If you compare the amount of time this first half has taken compared to the first half of the previous match, where both fencers are far, far more experienced at this level, that's because these athletes are both far less experienced at this level and they're trying to get their light on fast. And we can see now Shtababin, Komashchuk's coach, giving her some advice. I think he's going to try and get her to go in a little bit deeper into the middle, maybe shorter, faster steps into the middle and draw a reaction from her opponent. And if she does take the attack, probably go compound rather than just go direct, because the hits that Chloe has got in the middle have been parry posts.
And when you say compound, you mean you show one line, you're going to go to one area, and then you change it at the last moment to draw the parry.
Doing what we call a feint.
Yeah, feint. So so it's the same as boxing. You fake to one side and then go somewhere else. It's interesting times for Ukrainian fencing. We know that Olga Karlan did not attend this event. She's still rehabilitating from some surgery. She's decided not to fence here. She's fine, I'm told, but just decided not to fence here. But they're looking for some of the younger fencers to come through to get back up to the top of world fencing as a team, because that's how qualification works.
That's right, and they were 2008 world champion, Olympic champions, the Ukrainian team. But as a team, then haven't got quite the depth that some of the other countries at the top end have. Don't get me wrong; they're still a fantastic team, but
they do tend to rely on Olga Karlan.
They do.
It's fair to say.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's great for them that Komashchuk is starting to get slightly more consistent results now, and this is her second appearance at this stage of a major competition.
And only 25, which is still relatively young. You've still got a good few years left in you.
It is, although if you look at women's sabre now, women's sabre more so than men's, there's a lot of very young fencers who are performing at a high level. Men's sabre, you tend to find a slightly later maturation period, so that the kind of mid-20s to late 20s to early 30s even is a period of high
late
performance.
30s if you're Aldo Montano.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, late's harsh. I say mid. I mean, being an old man myself, I think that's harsh.
You've got years on me, mate. You're all right.
So Ukraine's just taking control of the second half. She's picked up the first 5 hits after the break.
Oh, nice.
And there you can see she's just keeping the distance a little bit longer, shorter, sharper preparations. It gives her space to see what's happening, but still provoking her opponent. You can see again there those smaller, sharper steps. Just control the distance perfectly in the second half to take 7 consecutive hits. Chloe Fox-Guittem didn't have an answer to that, but to be honest, I think that's just down to experience, and this has been a great day for her, fantastic performance, and we will see her back at this level again, and that can only be a really good learning experience for her.
So Komashchuk goes through, she wins that one 15-5, and she will face Anna Marton in the first semi-final. And I think that's going to be a little bit more of a challenge for the Ukrainian, but more on that coming up very soon. We've got 2 more quarterfinals to come, and then we're going to have our semi-finals coming up afterwards. So our next match, John, I'm going to let you introduce this one.
You've got a language barrier going here. So we've got Araceli Navarro of Spain, and we have Dasmili Georgiadou of Greece.
Efaristo.
Parakalo.
Very good, very good, very quick. So we've got Spain versus Greek, an all-European matchup here. It's going to be Jiang Yefi of China who's going to referee this one. And Benoit Macasteau of France, who is going to be on the video. And Navarro is going to be on your left, Georgiadou on your right. Now, we say that because we have to remind ourselves we're looking at this from a completely opposite angle from you. So, in fact, for us, Navarro is on the right. But the TV cameras are pointing towards us because that's the side the referee is standing on.
Absolutely. There's another fencer, the Greek fencer, her first last 8 appearance. She's made a top 16 exactly like Chloe Fox-Gitoma. She's made a top 16 before, but this is her first last 8.
Yeah, a few satellite medals for Navarro, 3 golds and a bronze, but no medals for Georgiadou. But they've got some form in women's sabre over the years.
Absolutely. The Greeks have started to produce more good fencers now, and especially in women's sabre. And I think one of the things with Despina is she's an amazing athlete. You know, her work in the gym is incredible. She's unbelievably powerful and explosive. Her technique still needs a lot of honing, and I know her coach, Nikos Sikas, who's a really good guy and a good coach, is working very hard on that, and she's got a lot of development still to come. So I think that's a positive thing. That's not a criticism, because it means she's in a top 8, but with a lot of things still to develop. So she doesn't really need to be a better, more powerful, stronger athlete than she is. She now needs to develop the technical side of her game. Araceli Navarro is a very good, controlled, technical fencer, got nice timing in the middle. She's made top 8 at the Europeans 2 or 3 times, I think. She's
and you talked about the Spanish. You've talked about the Spanish Federation really putting, getting quite a lot of support, financial support, to really bring their fencing on.
Absolutely, that was a beautiful parry pass from Navarro there. Drew the tempo and parried it. Yeah, they've just really upped the ante a little bit in the training for the women's sabre group. They've got a number of fencers who are working really, really hard in the national centre in INEF, and they've brought in a new coach. It's a lot sort of stricter, more exacting training regime. And we saw 4 of them in the 64, and 2 of whom made it to the 16, and of those, Araceli progressed further and made it into the last 8, and she's currently dominating this fight 6-2. And this is a really vulnerable area for the Greek fencer. Because of her technical flaws with the hand, she's a little bit vulnerable to being hit on preparation in the middle. She comes forward with really nice timing with the legs, but the hand isn't in the right place, and therefore the technically superior fencer, who's also got good timing, can hit her on preparation in the middle of the piece.
Well, 8-2 the lead for the Spaniard. She's in command at the moment. Now, John, look, I've had you up here all day today. You've done a fantastic job, and I thank you for that. But I really must give you the opportunity to talk about what you do, because you've got a great setup, not only with your work with British fencing, which is fantastic, but also at Truro, an unusual place, southwest of the reaches of Great Britain. And you've got a fantastic setup where you've got not just British athletes, but athletes from around the world.
Yeah, we have a great club down there. I've been there, well, I started fencing there when I was 15, so that's a few centuries ago now. And I've been head coach since 2007 at the club there. And we've got a really good setup and lots of good young fencers coming through, and we provide a lot of fencers to the British junior and cadet team. Yeah, and it's going extremely well. We have a great coaching team down there with Balázs Kuruc, Hungarian coach, Nikolai Dinev, Bulgarian coach, working alongside me there. And yeah, it's going really well. We've got a good club, and I also coach the men's and women's teams up in London, so I commute up and down. For those of you that don't know, Truro is down in the far southwest of England in Cornwall, 300 miles from London, so I commute up every week, spend 2.5 days in Cornwall, and the rest of the week up in London.
Yeah, doing a fabulous job there, and I've had some people come up to me saying that John Southfield, he's okay, he's a nice bloke, and they're not just Brits.
Carrying me as my agent, if anybody's wondering.
Well, we're back to the action here. It's the third quarter-final here at the Orléans World Cup, the start of the season for the women's sabreurs. And you have to say that Navarro is in control, and she has started this second period as she means to go on. A little bit more movement.
Yeah, I think Nikos' advice to his fencer Despina was to try and be a little bit more defensive, a bit more controlled at the beginning, and then take over the attack if she can and push more up and down the piece, because she's a very good athlete, very good, powerful, explosive athlete. So if she can take it out of the middle where the technique is so much more important, then she has a little bit better chance, I think. Araceli doesn't agree with that referee's decision. I actually do agree with it. I think the Greek fencer went earlier with the lunge attack on preparation.
Well, we get the review.
And don't forget, even though Araceli Navarro is a very experienced fencer, made a number of top 8s at European Championships and World Cups, she hasn't won a World Cup medal or a Grand Prix medal, so there's still pressure and adrenaline for her as well, not just for the Greek fencer. You can see that now, she's starting to get a tiny little bit stressed, just going a little bit faster in the middle, and this would play into the hands of the Greek fencer, who's a very good athlete with good timing. You see that again. Araceli just went a bit too fast, a bit too early. She's letting Espina Georgiadi back into this fight. I think if she just controlled her preparation and watched and reacted to the other fencers' action, then she'd do far better.
But also the flunge there, I think, meant that Araceli Navarro hit below the target area.
That's right, absolutely, which doesn't register. Anything below the waist. You can see the silvery grey coloured jacket, which is the target area of the body and the arms, and then the mask as well, the head. Anything below that won't register as a valid hit. Navarro on the attack, just falls short, and the Greek fencer riposte. Suddenly this is a match.
Yeah,
it was 8-2, now 9-7, so 5-1 to the Greek fencer in the second period. And it's a combination of the Greek fencer just being a bit more careful at the beginning of each hit. You see a slower step there at the beginning, and then the powerful lunge, not rushing on the first step. Well, and also Araceli Navarro being a little bit more tense and rushing a little bit more.
The referee calling that one, and a video appeal called from Georgiadou. It's interesting, isn't it? Because I think at the beginning of the day, perhaps keen observers would think Contura would be the one that would be in the latter stages for the Greek team. But you have to say Georgiadou is doing a great job, and it's often the case when two fencers from the same country start doing well together, it brings things on.
Absolutely, yeah. Sorry, I just got a bit distracted there by that incredible parry post. Such a late parry. I think Georgiadou was going for a tempo, a lunge into preparation, realised it wasn't on, and then just took a parry in the very last second.
And she calls for another video now, the Greek athlete.
But you're right about those two Greek women sabreurs. They've both just exploded onto the scene in the last 18 months. And they met each other actually in the top 16 in Athens, I think it was. And Georgiadou lost out on that one and missed out on her first last 8. But this competition here is more than made up for that. And she's right back in this match now.
Well, the referee, Zhang, is sticking with his decision there. And it is Navarro who re-establishes the lead.
And now Navarro's just become a little bit more composed again. She's realised what her mistake was. She just prepared quite aggressively but didn't commit, and then held up her attack, pushed all the way down the piece and finished well. I think if Araceli Navarro keeps this mindset, then she'll close this fight out. If she starts to rush again, exactly, short,
with the feet,
watching what's happening, not trying to go too early.
Yeah, so a bit more open eyes, as you say. They don't. You can take a closed eyes approach sometimes and just choose what you're going to do and go for it. Just being a little bit more reactive to what your opponent's doing seems to be the way that's working for the Spaniard now.
Absolutely right. Oh, that's a beautiful stop
Whoa.
hit. Beautiful. Very good control of distance and time there. She waited to the last second. She knew, again, another technical error actually from Georgiadou. As she started the attack, she just lifted her arm and opened up the target and gave a bit of time to the Spanish fencer.
But hovering over the back line as well, 14-metre piece. If you step over that back of the piece with 2 feet, you lose a hit, and now switches on to the attack, goes right down to the other end of the piece. You've almost got to think of it like a table, fencing on a tabletop, and if you step over with both feet, you're going to fall off the table.
Absolutely.
I think if I stepped off with 1 foot, I would fall off the table, but...
what you do in your dining room is your own concern, Harry. And Araceli's just taken control of this. She let Georgiadou back into the match. It got to 9-all. But since that moment, Araceli's realised her mistake. She's held up, controlled her preparation, been far more observant of what her opponent was doing, not trying to dominate and take the first preparation, the action on the first preparation. And there she closes out with exactly the same kind of preparation.
Yeah,
small sharp steps, absolutely.
Yeah, skips in, stops. It stopped the Greek athlete from stepping in as well, and she takes the fight. It was a great performance to start with, a little wobble in the middle, but Araceli Navarro is through to the semi-finals here in Orléans and gets a big hug from her coach.
Also nice to see Nikos, the Greek coach, applauding Araceli's victory. He's an absolute gentleman, one of the nicest guys on the circuit, and doing a fantastic job over in Athens with Georgiadou. And I'm sure again we're going to see her, just like we were saying about Chloe Fox-Katoma, this won't be her last appearance in the top 8. And she's had a great day. She'll be disappointed right now, but she's had a great day and will climb a number of places in the world rankings.
Yeah, the world of women's sabre is opening up, and a number of the European countries are really stepping up where perhaps we haven't seen them so often before, Spain being one of those. But we move on to our last quarter-final, and it's an all-French affair. France may have lost Manon Brunet in the first quarter-final, losing 15-7 to Anna Marton of Hungary, but they're guaranteed a medal here in Orléans because Sarah Nucha is on your left, and she goes up against her French teammate, Caroline Caroli. John, Caroli's got to be the favourite for this one, right?
I think she's the favourite, yeah, but I think Nucha is such a fighter. She's such a warrior. I love watching her fence. She's so passionate about winning. She's so passionate about her sport. I've been watching since she was about 14 years old, both of them, in fact. And it's been great to see them develop. And when Nucha came on the circuit as a good cadet in the French squad, she was not particularly conventional fencer. She was a fighter. She moved quite well, but she did lots of counterattacks, lots of kind of strange hits, and relied actually on battling away. And I've seen her develop over the last few years into a really, really strong sabre fencer with great technique, great movement, very good understanding in the middle of the piece, and it's been a joy to watch. I've just got a feeling Nucha is going to pressure Caroli more than possibly the home crowd thinks.
Well, believe it or not, these two have never met in an international, but surely they know each other inside out.
Many times in domestic competition, cadet, junior and senior level.
Nucha at just 18 years old, world number 54. Caroli is 20 years old, believe it or not. She looks so much younger than that, and she's the world number 38. Nucha got a bronze medal at the World Cup last year, or last season. It was actually this year, in 2018. She got a bronze, and Caroli got a GP bronze medal in the 2017 Moscow Grand Prix. So both have had experience of the podium.
Yeah, that's right. Caroli was very dominant at the end of her junior years, but then she suffered I think it was a hamstring injury, quite a serious injury, and came back, and it's been great to see her come back since 2017. Nucha took her bronze medal over in the US last season, and that was her real breakthrough performance as a senior fencer. She's still a junior, and undoubtedly is going to do very well this year in the junior competitions and especially the championships. Just a little break there as Caroli changes her sabre. Finely poised early in the match. They know each other so well, it's almost that they don't have to work out a strategy, they just have to try and make the strategy they know work against that person. They have to be clinical. When they have priority, just like there with Caroli, they have to convert their chances.
Audience here being very respectful, of course, of two French fencers. Polite applause for good hits. They know they're fencing. Knowledgeable crowd, that's for sure. John, we're seeing some of the fencers from around the world now adopting the new model, the Korean hop, for example. We see a lot of the Americans using it. We see a lot of fencers from around the world using it. When you have two French fencers, it tends to be slightly different, doesn't it? They do have a model, don't they?
That's right. There are some national styles, and I mean, I think Ed Corfanti's, can be credited with developing a lot of what we see outside the US as the US style. Although there are fencers from Yuri Gelman's stable that are a lot more what we consider conventional, if you like, sabre fencers, not in the new style. And Ed Corfanti's style is much more based on movement, distance, timing than it is on technical actions, although they do a lot of beats on the blade. And if you look at a comparison between someone like Mariel Zagunis and Dagmara Wozniak, you can see the two contrasting styles of US fencing. And then the Korean style is very bouncy and physical, huge lunges. The Hungarian style,
speed.
Very technical,
Let's
absolutely.
Not say the speed of the
incredible athletes, incredible athletes. Then of course you've got the Hungarian style, very, very technical, beautiful parry post lines, lots of use of different preparations that we saw from Marton earlier on. And it's great to see all these different kind of schools of thought.
How would you sum up the French style?
French style is very interesting because there are a couple of distinctive styles. If you look at someone like Berder, for instance, she's a big, strong physical fencer. She's got a huge lunge, big tempo in the middle of the piste. Slightly less subtle on the technical side, very subtle on the tactical side. Whereas these two fencers actually are probably technically slightly superior in some ways, and that their technique's a little bit finer, more honed, but obviously not as big and strong and powerful, and not using the timing so much, not using the big finishes so much. So,
but would you say it's all founded on the basis of incredibly disciplined footwork?
I mean, sabre is about footwork, distance, timing initially, and then around that you build. You have to have great technique to be successful at the top level. And if I'm criticising the technique of someone like Berder, what I mean is she's got one of the best techniques in the world, just not the best technique in the world.
But my point being that the French look, as you say, the Hungarians, we can use that word technical. It's handbook, textbook style blade work. With the French, it tends to be more with the feet and moving
to an extent,
around.
But then the French style is built on the Hungarian technique of Szepesi, who came over to France and was Christian Bauer's mentor, and then Christian Bauer took on the French team, and the French style.
Look what he's done.
Yeah, exactly. Not too bad. And the French style is built around still very solid Hungarian technique.
Well, it's Carolee here who is dominating things, as we suspected. Nucha, I think, whilst has experience of the podium, is just being a little bit overwhelmed by the superior decision-making, I think, ultimately, from Carolee.
I think that's right. Carolee's just controlling the distance and controlling the middle of the piece slightly better. Nucha's just I would say, chasing the hits, trying to get her light on rather than focus on execution. Just a good example there. She had a good idea. It was a good strategic, it was a good plan. But she just didn't execute. She did everything a bit too fast and a bit too early.
Well, Miklos Kosa here giving the 11th hit to Carolee. She's just a few hits away now from making it through. And that'll be an interesting battle between Navarro and her, should she make it to 15.
It will be, absolutely. So Nucha there, I think if her hand was just a little bit more correct, that would have been her attack. But she just has a little... Carolee's technique is slightly stronger. Nucha just tends to move her hand up and down and bring her hand slightly back before she delivers the final action. And they're very subtle, tiny movements, but it's enough at this level to make the difference between a simultaneous action and your attack, or a simultaneous action and attack and preparation.
It was nice from Nucha there. Carolee should be all right. She just stepped off the side of the piste and took a bit of the hoarding with her. It looked worse than it was.
She had to do a bit of DIY there on the Coupe du Monde sign on the side of the piste.
Yeah, she'll be fine. Do you think that Carolee not only has come on individually, but the fact that she's in that team now makes a bit of a difference in terms of confidence and self-efficacy? I know the sports psychs out there will know what I mean.
Absolutely. There's so many things, so many reasons that helps her. It helps because she's world champion, you know?
Yeah.
And that's psychologically huge.
And getting a big round of applause and a lap of honour here before we started as well.
It helps her from that perspective. Also, she's surrounded by, you know, training and competing in that team. She's surrounded by athletes of enormous experience and medal-winning calibre, medal-winning pedigree, and she can learn from them. And just simply getting more peacetime against the world's very, very best fencers. You know, there are many, many reasons that helps her.
Bit of a rush there at the end. They often say their 15th hit is the hardest to get, and Carolee perhaps stepping in a little bit early there. Nucha experienced enough to know to take advantage of it.
Absolutely, and Carolee just trying to, again, as we said earlier, trying to win the fight instead of just keep fencing and let the 15th hit look after itself. It's the hardest thing to do. But there it is.
She's done it, and Carolee does indeed go through 15-9 against Sarah Nucha, 18-year-old Sarah Nucha. She is the real deal, though. We will see her again for sure. But Carolee is going to be fencing in the semi-finals here in Orléans, and the crowd are going to go crazy for that for sure. That is our quarterfinal lineup complete. It's Marton against Komashchuk, Navarro, against Keroli, and that will be coming up very soon indeed. John, you have your real job to go and do now, don't you? I thank you for everything that you've done here today. I really appreciate you coming up and giving your expert opinion on this fantastic sport of fencing and women's sabre. And good luck tomorrow with the British team in the team event. I hope you're working all day, but if you're not, feel free to come and join me
I'll pop up
again.
and say hello. And yeah, we take on Hong Kong tomorrow morning, and hopefully we'll put that away and get a good result for our team.
Best of luck to you, and thank you so much again for joining us here.
Thanks, Karen. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
John Southfield there, the national coach of Great Britain, giving us his expert opinion on this beautiful sport of women's sabre. So, we're down to 4. So next up on the piste, it's Alexander Schiffers, who will take control of this first semi-final. Anna Marton of Hungary, the world number 3 at 23 years old, takes on the 25-year-old Alina Komashchuk, the world number 23 from Ukraine. Marton on your left, Komashchuk on your right. So underway here for the first semi-final. Had a little change around in the commentary box. It's my great pleasure to welcome Benjamin Bodie, coach of Lisa Pushtai, into the commentary box for the first time. Benjamin, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for your invitation.
It's an incredible lineup here for the quarterfinals. A number of people that perhaps we wouldn't have expected to make it to these stages. But now we have this match between Marton of Hungary and Komashchuk of Ukraine. What are your initial thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I hope the Hungarian will win.
Of course.
There are two very good fencers, so they are very experienced.
And Anna Marton, she's been on the scene for some time now at senior level. A good junior, use of line, some maybe different things for other juniors to handle. But now on the senior scene, she's up at number 3 in the world. She has a gold medal at the senior competition. Here, she has a very big chance to win the competition.
I hope so. I hope so.
And in terms of the technique of Komashchuk, what is Marton going to be looking out for? What she's going to be careful of?
I think she has a very good attack. So if she can handle it, she will win the match.
Well, it's a commanding start from the Hungarian athlete. She's 5-2 up. Of course, we go to a break when the first fencer gets to 8. Referee gives that as an attack on the preparation for Marton. And we get our first video appeal, and Schiffers goes to the video. He has a quick look at it. I think he's happy with his initial decision.
It's a simultaneous.
Well, Komashchuk going there below the target area, hitting on the leg, and in fact quite low on the leg.
No, I think it is a parry riposte.
There you go.
And a very nice attack from Marton.
So Marton perhaps has had, well, on paper the toughest fight against Brunet. just opened the door there a little bit for the Ukrainian. Of course, both these athletes are guaranteed a medal here tonight, but you'd fancy both of them would want to go on and win, take a chance to go for the gold medal. And a little bit of a comeback there from Milena Komashchuk.
We will see. I hope not. But
lovely hit there from Anna Marton. She takes us to the break 8-4. She's looking in control. Good movement on the piste. And she is 8-4 up as we go to the break. Now, Benjamin, it would be remiss of me not to ask you about this wonderful fencer that you are coaching, Lisa Pushtai. She took the Youth Olympic gold medal in Buenos Aires just a few weeks ago. What is it like working with someone with such incredible talent?
yeah, it's very difficult, but we are working together since the beginning, so we know very well each other. It's a little bit easier, and for example, the Youth Olympic Games was a very good experience for both of us, because you can try yourself in this situation, the Olympic situation, and she's so motivated for the future, because she got a lot of power from that.
A very confident young individual competing in her first year of juniors, but coming here and competing so well and doing so well over the last couple of years at senior level. It's very, very impressive for someone who is just 17.
Yeah, you're right.
And a motivation for Anna Marton, who has climbed up the world rankings here. She's 9-4 up in this semi-final, and perhaps, you know, number one in Hungary as women's sabre needed some extra motivation from someone else.
Yeah, you're right, and it's also good for her and good for the team, because we will try to qualify to Tokyo, and Anna and Lisa can be very good together.
Marton picking up the blade in the middle and gets the para-riposte given, but another call for a video review from Komashchuk. Your thoughts on that hit? It looked to me like para-riposte.
No, it was, I think, the Touladu attack from the Ukrainian fence.
So
we will see.
Schiffers is looking at the video now and looking at the review. There's disagreement in the commentary box here, but I bow to the superior knowledge of Benjamin Bodie. He calls it attack from Komashchuk on the right for the Ukrainian. Referee comes back. His decision is?
So then you're right.
Well, it happens every now and again. So Marton does indeed get the call, and the score hasn't been changed yet. There you go. So 10-5 to Marton. She's just 5 away from going through to the gold medal match. He's blocked out there, though, that attack from Marton and Komashchuk. Still staying in the game, but the fight's staying very much in the middle of the piste.
Yeah, I think Komashchuk tried to stay there because it's better for her.
Marton luring her along.
She's a very good defender.
This time a compound attack from the Ukrainian, coming through to the body side of the target. Back within 4. Beautiful block though from Marton, going on the long attack now.
Yeah, it was a counter-attack parry riposte. It's a very nice touch.
So she's luring the counter-attack
Yes.
from Komashchuk.
Yes.
She's trying to say, come and attack me,
Yes.
bringing her arm back and then finding para-riposte. A very technical hit for, and we're used to saying that about Hungarian fencers.
Yeah, and I think she's the best in it, so she's a very technical fencer.
Well, she acknowledges that one. Maybe just reaching a little bit, one more step before the finish of the attack would be better, but a little short. Komashchuk still in this fight.
a parry riposte.
Oh, very nice there. Really controlled as well.
Yeah, she's controlled the whole match.
So Martin on the attack, looking for the winning hit. Just pulls her arm back at the last minute. Apologies for the big hit there from Martin. Tomaszczyk wearing that one, but she'll come back and she'll be fine. Just a little nervy on that first approach from Martin. Down at the end of the piece and does the job. And what an accomplished performance from Anna Martin of Hungary. Benjamin, that was solid, controlled, no rush. She's got to be favourite now for gold medal.
Yeah, and I think that was the final for me. So I think after that she will win the gold.
Well, we have one more semi-final to come. That's Araceli Navarro of Spain, who's going to go up against Caroline Caroli. Now, I agree with you, but I want to play devil's advocate, as we say. Caroli, home crowd, behind her. She's fencing very well against Lucia. She, would you say, is potentially favourite for this match against Navarro?
She's also beat Velikaya, who is one of the best in the world. So, and after it was also a very controlled match against Lucia. So she has a chance to beat the Spanish girl, and also if she can qualify to the final, win the gold.
And I was saying to John Southfield, who I know you know very well, Caroli over the last 18 months has grown in confidence. She's obviously very talented, but joining that French team, winning the World Championship team medal, gold medal in Wuxi, her confidence is very high.
Yeah, that before she had an injury, so she's just coming back. And in the first competition, she won the bronze medal, and after she won the gold in a World Championship, and now we can see she's in the semi-final.
And fencing very confidently for someone who's just 20 years old. You work with someone who's just 17 years old, but still 20-year-old is very young.
Yeah.
Well, here she is on the piece now. She's ready to go up against the Spaniard, who is on fine form herself and will come into this with absolutely nothing to lose. It's Caroli of France on your right, Navarro of Spain on the left. This for a shot at Anna Martin in the gold medal match.
Spanish has a day, so we will see.
Growing as a team, as John Southfield, who was in the box earlier on, said, and a good start. But the French crowd are going to really get behind Caroline Caroli here as Zhang, our referee, takes control of the early stages of the semi-final. Caroli trying to take control of the middle of the piece here a little bit, trying to dominate.
Yeah, she tried to dominate with the hand.
Nice block though from the French fencer.
Yeah, very nice parry riposte.
And I think for fencing fans, the thing about sabre really is the decision making has to be so fast, so quick. You have to decide what you're going to do before the referee says play.
Yeah, you have to know what you want to do.
Long attack from Carolee, and the crowd are really getting behind the French fencer here.
It's a parry riposte from the Spanish, yeah.
There you go. So the attack coming through from Carolee blocked out. Was there a slight hesitation there?
Hesitation from Carolee, attack from the Spanish.
The referee Zhang not calling that one. He doesn't separate it, but I think it's Navarro who calls for a video appeal.
Carolee called the video now. Yeah, and it is very close. Very close. We will see. I think it's a simultaneous.
If you just joined us, it's Benjamin Bodie, coach of Elisa Pushtai, who's here giving us his expert opinion here on the match. His first appearance in the commentary box, and it's an absolute pleasure to have him here. As we see Carolee with the home crowd behind her. Well, she fell behind, took control. A remise, I think, of the attack. The first one didn't
The second
land.
one, yeah. First was short. It was, I think, attack premier no, but the Spanish wanted to make a parry, so attack no, riposte no, attack touche from the left.
See, I'm a foilist. For me, this is remise.
Yeah.
You call it the
But it's
second attack.
different.
Yeah, it is very different. Very different. But it's Carolee that has taken us to the break. She's landed a couple of, well, she certainly landed one remise we agree with, and then the second one was a second attack, and then she's finished it off and got through to the break at 8-5 here. She's controlling the centre of the piece. She hasn't really stepped back, maybe once or twice gone into her own half.
Yeah, she tried to control the match in the middle of the piece, and I think she will win the match. We will see, but I think she will win.
She's looking very strong here, but of course the coach for both fencers will be talking to them now and looking to change tactics. For you, if you're with Lisa on the side of the piece and she's trailing, I know this is not happening very often, but if she's trailing, how do you deal with the motivational side, not just the technical, the changing the mindset?
Yeah, usually I try to tell to her you will win the match and you are better than the other fencer. It can help for her.
And build confidence.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that may well be what's happening with the Spanish coach. You must try and take control of this fight in the middle. Carolee is controlling it at the moment. But the confidence of the 20-year-old French fencer has grown noticeably over the last 6 to 12 months. And she's in a very strong position here. The loser here will collect a bronze medal. No bad effort here at the first World Cup of the season, but the winner will go on to fight for gold against Anna Marton of Hungary. Well, there the Spaniard looking for a parry in 2-3, maybe even 4 lines, and Carolee finding a way through.
Yeah, it was attack, counter-attack from the right. She was a little bit late. Yeah, it was a mal parry.
So mal parry, a parry that fails when you try and block with your blade. We call that a parry. Didn't land for Carolee, so Navarro gets the point. This time, Zhang calls for Carolee, and Navarro calls for a video review.
I agree with her. I agree with Navarro.
So how would you describe this action?
Yeah, it would. Carolee just waited too much in the middle of the piste, and Spanish started attack. Yeah.
A good call there from Benjamin Bodie, because the referee has indeed changed his mind. A great call from Navarro. She's within 1. Does the attack go through? Yes, it does, says referee Zhang. Crowd a bit nervous.
The Spanish tried to parry Caroly's attack, but she couldn't.
Well, another video appeal here. Your thoughts on this one, Benjamin?
I agree with the referee now.
It's interesting, isn't it? You have obviously 2 very talented expert fencers on the piste and 1 very talented referee. 3 different decisions.
Yeah.
This is fencing.
Yeah, this is fencing. And especially this is sabre.
Yeah, especially sabre. I agree with you totally. So the referee does indeed give the hit to Navarro. She's back within 2. Caroly a little nervy here, looking in control early on. Navarro controlled on her feet, coming forwards on the attack. In the end, picks up a parry riposte.
Yeah, it wasn't. She tried to make a parry riposte, but it was mal parry also.
Crowd now trying to lift Caroly here.
It can be very difficult for her because she's from Orléans, so I think she's nervous a little bit.
We saw it with Brunet earlier on, struggling against Martin with a crowd behind her. Caroly was in control of this one, but Navarro has stayed in this. She's shown some real grit to get into the fight, and now she's taken the lead. Crucially, just 3 points away from winning here in the semi-final, and she's just landed another attack. Can Caroly get a grip of this one?
Nice comeback.
Great performance from the Spaniard, but it's not done yet. But a single light, and she's now 1 away from making the final in Orléans. Araceli Navarro has come from behind. Ooh, was the slightest hesitation there from Caroly. The referee's given this one.
It was, I agree with the referee. It was attack counter attack, but Caroly don't have more video.
And there you go. What a great performance from the Spaniard. She came back from a long way behind to take the semi-final against Caroline Caroly. And Araceli Navarro will take on Anna Martin for gold here in Orléans at the start of the new fencing season. Brilliant performance from Navarro. What a great fight back.
Yeah, it was very nice comeback. She, in the second half, she controlled the match in the middle of the piste. It's worked.
So there you go, confirmation that Araceli Navarro of Spain is through to the gold medal match. We know that Alina Komashchuk and Caroline Caroly of France will be picking up the bronze medals later on. The last question to answer here on the individual day at the Orléans World Cup is who is going to take gold? Anna Martin of Hungary or Araceli Navarro of Spain? We have to take a 10-minute break now before the gold medal match to give Navarro an opportunity to rest. So we'll take a little break in the commentary box and we'll be back for that gold medal match to decide who is going to be the champion of Orléans 2018.
Mesdames, Messieurs, les harnais bidons sous vos applaudissements. mesdames, merci beaucoup. Et donc, nous allons assister maintenant à la finale de cette 21e édition de la Coupe du Monde d'Orléans. C'est une nouvelle athlète qui va inscrire son nom au palmarès de cette Coupe du Monde. Ce match final sera arbitré par M. Emanuele Bucca, Italie. Et je vous demande d'applaudir Anna Marton, Hongrie. Face à Araceli Navarro, Espagne.
Well, here we go. It's time for gold here in Orléans. The opening World Cup of the new season. And it's Anna Marton of Hungary up against Araceli Navarro of Spain. The favourite has to be the Hungarian, 23 years old, the world number 3. She won the Athens World Cup in 2017, has a World Cup silver and 2 World Cup bronze, 5 Grand Prix silver medals, but the highlights have to be the World bronze medal in 2015 and the European Championship silver in 2016. By contrast, Navarro of Italy is the world number 44, 29 years old, has 3 satellite tournament gold medals and 1 bronze. This will be her first major medal here at a World Cup, Grand Prix, Zonal Championship or World Championship, but she's up against the powerhouse from Hungary. She's been climbing the world rankings at senior level for some years now. A very, very promising junior is the world number 3. On your left, Anna Marton has to be favourite for this. And I'm joined in the commentary box by Benjamin Bodie, and it's Emanuele Bucca from Italy who is going to get us underway. It's time for gold in Orléans. And it's Anna Marton who gets us off the mark. Benjamin, I know that you're backing your compatriot Anna Marton, but Navarro fought back so well in the semi-finals. She's got to be a contender here.
Yeah, she's pretty good today, and she has a day, how I told to you. And we will see the final. She won the last satellite competition, so she won her last competition, and she is now in the final. So we will see. It's 3-0 for Anna Marton, but it's just the beginning of the match.
Everything staying in the middle.
She had a very nice comeback in the last match, Spanish fencer. So,
yeah. Navarro just opening up the piste a little bit there.
she have to. She has only chance if she open, because Martin is very good in the middle of the piste and she is very good defender. So her only chance if she open the distance and try to defend also.
Well, early stages set here in this gold medal match. Marton went out to a strong lead, but Navarro has opened up the piste. She's gone both into her side of the piste in defence, and now gone out on the attack and landed her first attack outside the middle. Marton on a long attack, a beauty as well, faking to flank, hitting to chest. Fencing very much like boxing. You show a feint, you show a fake attack, and then land somewhere else.
And also, you also have to know what the other fencer want to do.
No clock in sabre. We go to a break at 8, but Marton, I think, is already showing signs of sensing the victory here at this first World Cup of the season. So a card being shown to Navarro. Was that for an early start or for hesitating on the start?
No, it was early start. And the referee was very strict now. Because usually in the first time they don't give cards. But
We've been told that they have been instructed to be very strict about the rule here. Starting early in sabre is such a massive advantage.
You're right, but starting early, it's not always she wants to start early. Maybe it can be a referee's mistake or just
nervous energy.
Nervous or the other fencer move, so it's very difficult to decide, but Buka decided. This is his choice.
He's in charge of the match, and you've got to say he's one of the top referees here at this competition. Him and Miklos Kosa probably are the leading lights, but the leading light here in this gold medal match is Anna Marton of Hungary. She's 8-4 up at the break and looking in control, and the fight's really staying in the middle. Apart from 2 hits, Navarro has not really moved it outside.
Yeah, if she cannot change something, I think she can win the final. But for example, against Caroly in the semi-final, it was 8-5 for Caroly, and it was 11-9 for Caroly, and after she won for 15-11. So we will see. We will see, because today she is very good and she has. Maybe she can change.
She has the opportunity, and like you say, she changed things in the fight against Caroly from behind, came through at the end to win, and it was really, we say in British, a gritty performance, a real, she struggled to get through, and she made it.
And after 4 or 5 very long matches, so it's
important point.
Yes, she had very, very long matches, and after it was 11-9 for other fencer, and she could change. So now we will see. But of course, I hope she cannot.
Of course you do. Benjamin Bodie, the Hungarian coach of Lisa Pusztai, of course supporting his compatriot Anna Marton. She is on the left of your piece, and she is leading 9-4, target score of 15 for the first gold medal of the women's sabre season here in Orléans. Marton just taking a little nick on the underside of her hand.
Yeah.
Small preparation there from Marton.
I think it was an attack from the Spanish fencer. I think it's a good call from the referee, but we will see soon.
Well, Marton's called for a video appeal here, so Emanuele Buka goes to look at the video. Very quick decision. That usually means they're not going to change their mind, and indeed, Emanuele Buka sticks with his decision.
Marton was a little bit late.
Navarro moving out of the middle, and those short steps again that she showed against Caroly. A nice attack from her, and all of a sudden she's right back in this. Nervous, Benjamin?
I don't think so. Marton in the match, and I think she controlled that.
Another early start from Navarro. Is this going to be a red card? It is, and a red card means a free point to Anna Marton. She moves on to 10. 15 the target score, gold medal at stake here in Orléans.
It was an attack from the right fencer, Anna Marton. The other fencer was late. It's a good decision from the Italian referee. I think it was an attack from the Spanish fencer, but she stopped, and Marton saw that and started an attack. The good decision again.
So this reaction that's coming from Marton, perfect there. She's within 3 of gold. Make that 2 now as Buka gives her that attack. And a video requested by
I think no point to call a video now. It was a very, very easy decision.
Them shows the same decision called, and 13-7 is the play for Anna Marton. She's 2 away. Oh, maybe a bit of a lucky one there for Navarro, but of course she will take it. Can she come back into this one? She did it against Karoli. Ah, she's got another attack there. Feint to the flank, to the outside of the sword arm, flicking into the middle very quickly at the end.
It's a clever touch, the feint attack.
Marton skipping away from that one. She's now in control of this part of the fight, and a nice attack from her takes her to 14 points. She wore a bit of a heavy hit that time though. Benjamin's off his feet now in the commentary box. Oh, shaky moment from both there.
Yeah, I just...
Marton moved first, I
might
thought.
have moved, but how I told to you.
Navarro on the attack. She does land that one into double figures. Sometimes that makes a big difference to a fencer. In striking distance of 15, but cannot make a single mistake now. Marton straight out off the mark. Attack is given.
It was very close, but attack from the right fencer, Anna Marton. So, how I told to you, the Hungarian fencer could won the competition.
And congratulations to her. I don't think this is going to be changed despite the video appeal from Navarro. Emmanuel Lebuca comes to give his first decision, and indeed it is given. Anna Marton is the champion of Orléans 2018. She's going to be standing on top of the podium here at the first competition of the new season. Anna Marton was brilliant throughout the day. She began her 64 match with a 15-1 victory, and she has not looked out of sorts throughout the tournament. She is the champion of Orléans. Well, Benjamin, what a great performance from her all day today. Anna Marton is the champion of Orléans. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I hope she can continue this tomorrow, and it was a very nice, very nice of her. We will see. Yeah, I hope she can stay in this level in the whole season, and it's very important European and World Championship in this year because it's for the Olympic,
of course.
And she's one of the best in the world, so she's just knocking in the door of Tokyo.
Well, there you go. You heard it from Benjamin Bodie, the Hungarian coach of Elisa Pusztai. Thank you so much for joining us in the box. We would definitely invite you back.
Thank you for the invitation. It was very nice to be here.
Benjamin Bodie there from Hungary. He's now going to go off and get his team ready for the team tournament tomorrow. We'll take a very short break here in the commentary box, but don't go too far, because coming up next we're going to see Anna Marton stand on top of the podium here at the first World Cup of the season for the women's sabreurs here in Orléans. I'm Karen Bashir. My expert commentator Benjamin Bodie is off to do his job for the Hungarian team. This is a live broadcast from the Orléans World Cup, brought to you by Leon Paul.
Restez présents dans la salle parce qu'il y a encore des surprises. Monsieur Dondassé est dans la salle, s'il vous plaît. Il en joue avec le micro. Merci. Monsieur le maire, je vous en prie.
Merci à vous. Simplement je veux ici témoigner de la joie qu'on a d'accueillir cette coupe, cette 21e coupe du monde de sabre, qui est, comme à chaque fois, est une perfection dans l'organisation et qui fait qu'à Orléans, on peut s'enorgueillir d'avoir une coupe aussi bien préparée. C'est la raison pour laquelle je voudrais que vous fassiez une ovation pour la présidente et le président du club de Samedi Orléans, Madame Réa et Monsieur Bédou. C'est grâce à leur opiniâtreté dont je peux témoigner, grâce à l'amour qu'ils ont du sport pour lequel vous êtes ici nombreux à être de chaleureux amateurs, que Orléans figure en tête des clubs dans cette discipline. Alors je ne sais pas si c'est l'esprit de Jeanne d'Arc qui souffle depuis des années sur l'escrime et sur le sabre en particulier à Orléans, mais en tout cas un coup de chapeau à toutes nos championnes. On leur souhaite un très bon vent pour cette année pré-olympique 2019 qui se profile devant nous. Et puis surtout, elles savent qu'on sera extrêmement nombreuses et nombreux à être derrière elles pour 2020. Merci à toutes et à tous.
Merci, monsieur le maire, merci infiniment pour ces mots. Alors, comme vous l'avez souligné, vous avez mis en avant les deux coprésidents, mais il n'y a pas une telle aventure sans plus de 100 bénévoles du club d'Orléans qui ont participé à cette manifestation depuis de nombreux mois, quelques jours maintenant. Je vous demande d'applaudir très très fort les bénévoles du cercle d'escrime orléanais sur le podium. Allez-y. Allez, allez. Bien sûr, ils ne sont pas tous là, voilà, mais on les peut les applaudir encore très très fort. Merci les bénévoles. On va vous demander de faire le tour de la salle et de quitter. Merci. Maintenant, je voudrais vous présenter tous les jeunes champions du cercle d'escrime orléanais, tous les médaillés au championnat de France ou au championnat international. S'il vous plaît, les jeunes. C'est parti. Vous avez vu, j'ai parlé des jeunes et... Bon. Alors, il y a parmi eux déjà des membres de la section sportive du collège Jeanne d'Arc ou du lycée Charles Péguy. Allez, levez les bras, voilà. Eh bien, il y a entendu le pôle France relève du lycée Charles Péguy. En blanc, voilà les futurs pousses. Parmi elles, deux sélectionnés au championnat du monde, cadette la saison dernière. Amalia Aimé. Avance Amalia, avance. Voilà. Et puis, Faustine Clapier, vainqueur des Jeux mondiaux scolaires. Il y a l'équipe, 7 fois championne de France senior par équipe. Et là, je vous demande d'applaudir à nouveau Margot Gimalac, Manon Brunet et Cécilia Bernard. 7 championnes de France et 4 victoires en Coupe d'Europe des clubs. Et puis, il y a quelqu'un qui va nous apporter le trophée ce soir. Et je vais demander à nos amis de Factum de bien vouloir œuvrer. Je vous demande d'applaudir très très fort Laura Rémy. Alors Laura, la chanson elle est pour papa et maman qui l'ont réclamée. Laura Rémy, championne de France en mini, championne de France en cadet, championne de France en junior, 3 fois 3e des championnats de France senior et de toutes les épopées du club. C'est-à-dire avec Cécilia Bernard, c'est la seule à avoir 7 titres de championne de France par équipe et 4 Coupes d'Europe des clubs. Et en plus, on l'a vu tout à l'heure sur le défilé, c'est une brillante kinésithérapeute depuis cette année. Bravo Laura. Alors, c'était sa dernière compétition internationale ici chez elle. Elle s'est fait battre par sa camarade de club Manon Brunet pour la... Malheureusement, les hasards du tableau font qu'à Orléans, ils se rencontrent. Voilà. Mais ne vous inquiétez pas, elle va terminer la saison en beauté avec tout le cercle d'escrime orléanais. Bravo Laura! Les jeunes, on vous remercie. Encore bravo et bonne saison. Laura, tu nous laisses le trophée là. Voilà. Et on va enchaîner avec, sans transition aucune, la cérémonie protocolaire de cette 21e édition. Alors pendant que les jeunes sortent, ça me permet aussi d'évoquer le trophée. C'est vrai que je vous en ai très peu parlé au cours des précédentes éditions. Il y a maintenant, ça fait 3 ans qu'il a été créé. Il a été créé par le président d'honneur du Cercle d'escrime orléanais qui a comme passe-temps la sculpture sur fer, acier, enfin, métallique. Et donc ce trophée est la création de Serge Aurélie, qui n'est autre que le tonton de Laura Rémy. Bravo pour ce trophée, Serge, merci beaucoup. Tout de suite, cérémonie protocolaire et entrée des 8 récipiendaires sous vos applaudissements. C'est bon, chambre d'appel. Ça doit se préparer encore un peu. All finalists in call room, please. En tous les cas, public, moi je voulais vous remercier d'être toujours aussi fidèles. On n'a pas pu vous offrir le Zénith cette année pour des contraintes calendaires avec la Fédération internationale. Mais soyez assurés, on y retournera l'année prochaine. C'est bon, en chambre d'appel. S'il vous plaît, merci. Entrée des 8 finalistes, s'il vous plaît. Anna, il y a les bips là. Qu'est-ce qui manque? On passe les images en attendant. Mademoiselle Navarro, por favor, Navarro, in call room, please. Manon Brunet, en chambre d'appel, s'il vous plaît. Ça y est. C'est bon. Entrez les 8 finalistes, s'il vous plaît, derrière le podium. Ah, ça se congratule encore. Allez. Bravo. Et je demande aux officiels de venir nous rejoindre.
So here we go, it's time for the medals here in Orléans. The first Women's Sabre World Cup of the season is done. Well, certainly for the individuals it is. Of course, we have the team event tomorrow. The 8 quarter-finalists are celebrated here. Manon Brunet lost to Anna Martin. Chloe Fox-Gittimer was taken out by Tomaszczuk. The spinner Georgia Du lost to Navarro. And Caroline beat Sarah Lucha in their corresponding quarterfinals. And here are the medals for the losing quarterfinalists. Georgia Du there on the right. Chloe Fox-Gittimer there. It was cock a hoop after winning her round of 16 match to make the quarterfinals. And this 18-year-old American certainly has a lot more to promise. It's another 18-year-old, this time from France. Sarah Lucha, who also made the quarterfinals. And Manon Brunet, originally from Orléans Fencing Club. It was a tough quarterfinal against Anna Martin, but she gets presented to the crowd here at home. But our first bronze medalist is Alina Tomaszczuk, joined on the podium by another Orléans favourite, Caroline Caroli of France. Tomaszczuk, of course, from Ukraine. On the podium. Yeah, at the first World Cup of the season, a second appearance on a World Cup podium, having won a silver medal way back in 2013 in Chicago. But what a star this young lady has proved to be here. Araceli Navarro of Spain. A resurgent Spanish program is starting to show signs of brilliance as Navarro takes the silver medal here in Orléans. Her first World Cup medal, but she lost out to the superstar of the day, performed brilliantly from the start. A 15-1 victory in the 64 was just the beginning of things. Anna Martin is the champion of Orléans 2018. The Hungarian 23-year-old came into the tournament ranked 3rd in the world, and I'm sure those ranking points are going to climb. Pascal Tesch, the official here from the International Federation, presenting her with her trophies and gifts. And it's the president of the federation here in Orléans to give her this amazing trophy. It's heavy, but she can lift it. Anna Marton, the champion of Orléans 2018.
Et puis je vais vous demander de bien vouloir vous lever pour écouter l'hymne hongrois.
So now it's time for the national anthem of Hungary. Well, a good round of applause here in Orléans from this knowledgeable crowd here in France. Spectacular trophy. I'm not sure how she's going to get that on the plane back to Budapest. But it's time for the photos here. Alina Komaszczuk there in the blue t-shirt on the right, beaming, along with Caroline Keroli and Araceli Navarro. But it's that lady there in the middle, Anna Marton, who has the biggest smile. She's the champion of Orléans 2018, the first World Cup of the new season for the women's sabreurs. And that's about it here from the individual event today. The team tournament starts tomorrow. And in this all-important year where Olympic qualification starts, results really begin to matter for the teams. We will leave you with pictures and the interview with Anna Marton. Thank you for joining us. This live broadcast of the Orléans Women's Sabre World Cup has been brought to you by Leon Paul.
Que l'organisation était merveilleuse et qu'elle est ravie à chaque fois de venir ici. On vous souhaite une bonne fin de soirée. On vous dit à demain pour la Coupe du Monde par équipe. Venez encourager l'équipe de France, championne du monde. C'est un autre spectacle par équipe.